Jai Bhim to all the viewers of my YouTube channel. This is Professor Dr. Arjun Zadav from Pune. I have decided to make some informative audio-video speeches for the younger as well as older generations who are curious to know more about the life and works of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the architect of the Indian Constitution. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, fondly remembered as Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, stands as a towering figure in Indian history. A visionary leader, social reformer, and the main architect of the Indian Constitution, Bhimrao's journey from a marginalized child to a celebrated leader is a story of resilience, intellect, and relentless pursuit of injustice. His early life was shaped by experiences of untouchability, poverty, and social exclusion, which it transformed into a powerful resolve to fight for the rights of the oppressed. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was born on 14th April 1891 in Mahu, a small cantonment town in the present-day Madhya Pradesh, India. He was the youngest of 14 children born to Ramji Maloji Sakpal and Bhima Bai Sakpal. His family belonged to the Mahar community, which was considered an untouchable caste in the rigid Hindu social order. Despite their marginalized status, Ambedkar's father, a Subedar in the British Indian Army, was well educated and deeply committed to his children's education. This early emphasis on learning became a cornerstone of Dr. Ambedkar's life and mission. Although Babasaheb was born into a family that valued education, their low social status subjected them to systematic discrimination and segregation. His family faced significant economic challenges, which schooling years were a crucible of hardship and inspiration. He attended a government high school in Satara, Maharashtra, where he encountered the brutal realities of caste-based discrimination firsthand. Being a Dalit student, he and other untouchable children were segregated from their peers. They were not allowed to sit with students from upper caste families and were often required to sit on the floor on a gunny sack in a corner of the classroom. One of the most humiliating experiences young Bhimrao faced was related to the access of drinking water. In those days, Dalit students were not allowed to touch the school's water pot. If they needed water, a peon or an upper caste individual would pour it from a height to avoid any physical contact. Experience later inspired Dr. Ambedkar to launch his famous campaign for equal access to public resources, such as the Mahar Satyagraha of 1927, where he fought for the Dalit community's right to drink water from public tanks. Academic brilliance was evident, and he developed an insatiable hunger for learning that would propel him towards higher education. Ambedkar and his brothers travelled to visit his father in Koregaon in Khatal Taluka, Satara district. He was working there as a government servant. One day, Bhima's father wrote a letter inviting his sons to come to Koregaon for summer vacation. The children were animated to go there by train. They had never travelled by train before. The boys made great preparations with respect to their dresses. They purchased new clothes and shoes, especially for the train journey. In his letter, Bhima's father gave clear directions for the boys. He told the boys that his servant would come to the railway station to collect and take them to Koregaon at the stipulated times. The journey was a pleasant one, as the boys enjoyed lemon on the train. The children waited an hour for the servant who was supposed to take them to Koregaon, but he did not turn up to the station. On seeing the precarious condition of the boys, the station master came and inquired about their destination. The station master came there after an hour and tried to find out a solution to their problem. That time, there were many bullock carts outside the station to be hired. The station master negotiated with one of the bullock cart owners and asked the boys to pay the double fare and drive the bullock cart themselves because they belonged to the untouchable community. It was about 6:30 in the evening. The boys drove the bullock cart, whereas the caste Hindu cart owner walked along. It was completely dark and the boys became worried. They started weeping as they were stranded on the way to Koregaon. They must have travelled 4 to 5 miles. It was nearly 10 o'clock in the night. The cart owner suggested that they halted in a nearby village where the street lights were still burning. The boys felt relieved for the time being. It took 2 hours to reach the toll collector's hut, which was situated at the foot of a hill. Caste Hindu, he refused to give them water to drink because they belonged to the untouchable caste. The boys could not sleep that night. For safety purpose, they resumed their bullock cart journey around 8 in the morning and reached Koregaon by 11. This humiliating incident left a lasting impact on young Bhimrao.